Hey friends, I'm Stacy and this is Gorgeously Aging, and today we are going to do this look, a full face of Cle De Peau makeup. You guys, Cle De Peau is a luxury brand and I am such a frugal, cheap person that it's taken me a long time to cultivate this collection I'm going to share with you today, but I just had to know and had to be able to share with you guys if you spend this kind of money, if you're going to get a better finished look, if you're going to feel so incredibly beautiful, or if you are going to find a product that is going to blow your mind. So I'm going to tell you the truth on all these products and which ones I would buy again and which ones I absolutely wouldn't and which ones are kind of a disaster in the Cle De Peau line. There are definitely a few standouts that I think are probably worth the splurge. If you're curious, keep on watching. We all have our guilty pleasures, and mine is definitely makeup and skincare. You guys, I just finished my Cle De Peau collection. Actually, not everything. There's a few other things from Cle De Peau I still want, but many of you probably know it's a very luxury brand, so it is expensive. It's taken me about 3 years to put this collection together, so I finally have the full collection to share with you. And I'm going to tell you the truth about what's great from Cle De Peau and what you can save your money on. If you are a makeup lover like me, I just did a video on a full look of Haus Labs on mature skin. For those of you brand new, I am 52 years old. I am a master medical esthetician, and I have been in the salon, spa, and permanent cosmetics industry for over 30 years. So needless to say, beauty and aesthetics has been my life and my passion, and I am so excited to share it with you. There are definitely some tips and tricks to making your makeup look nice on mature skin. Unfortunately, as we age, things change, our cells don't turn over as quickly, our skin texture changes as we age, and the loss of estrogen definitely plays a role in the way that makeup looks on our skin. So today I've got some really good tips for making makeup look better, and some hacks that I think are going to make you feel super confident in your makeup. Now, you don't have to have a full collection of Cle De Peau, you guys. You can use other brands. Drugstore brands have come a long way. I'm just showing you the Cle De Peau today, but you can use these hacks with any makeup that you have at home. And since we're talking about guilty pleasures or collections, you guys, share with me in the comments what your guilty pleasure is. I would love to hear. We're going to start with the Cle De Peau Brightening Enhancer Veil. You guys, I did my skincare, which includes SPF, which is so important to wear every day, year round, and also a rich moisturizer, which is a great base for makeup. I did this about 20 minutes ago. The base that I used today as far as a rich moisturizer was the Revolution Beauty Miracle Cream. It's like the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, but a lot less expensive. If you haven't seen that video where I compare the two and talk about the difference in ingredients, definitely watch that. I think it's kind of interesting to see how they compare. All right, this has a nice slip to it, this Cle De Peau Brightening Veil, and it has a almost slightly nourishing oily texture. Not oily, but you can definitely feel the emollients. Tiny bit of white cast when you first put it on, but it does absorb. This does offer some additional sun protection, and it's SPF 12. So I wouldn't use that alone for sun protection, but it offers a little extra boost. Now I do have all of the Cle De Peau foundations, including this ridiculously expensive one, which I love and cherish, but today I am not going to use these. I'm going to use the Radiant Cream Foundation, which isn't as high priced as the other two, and it is beautiful for everyday wear. This also has a little extra sun protection at SPF 25. And this one's a good color for me. Let me just look at the color. This is medium beige B30. Now I'm going to tell you a few things to pass on by Cle De Peau because I just don't think that they are worth it, and that is the Cle De Peau brushes. They are beautiful, but you can definitely skip the high price tag and find something more budget friendly. Lately I've been using the BK Beauty brushes a lot, which I really like. I've been enjoying them. And I'm just going to go ahead and buff on the foundation. Now, one little hack, this foundation is actually really nice on mature skin, but if you have textured skin or if makeup just looks too heavy, if foundation makeup looks heavy, add just a little bit of your moisturizing cream to your foundation or whatever you're using on your skin. It'll sheer it out. You'll still get some coverage, but it'll be much more skin friendly or skin-like finish. I can't tell you how many women have said to me, like, I cannot wear foundation makeup anymore. It looks too cakey. It looks too much like makeup on my skin. It accentuates all my imperfections. So try shearing it out with a really good moisturizer and see how that works. Another thing is to make sure you have some glycolic acid or some kind of chemical exfoliant in your skincare routine, which will improve your skin texture and help the makeup go on smoother. I'm just going to blend this in with a dry sponge, and that will help remove any excess makeup. This is the corrector or the under eye concealer, and I'm just going to give it a few clicks. Now blending this in with the finger is great. I do like to use a brush or a sponge. I'm going to use this BK Beauty brush. It's nice and soft and tapered, but a finger is just fine as well. Now I do have the other Cle De Peau concealer here. You can see it's a nice color match. So if you have areas that you do want to add a little extra coverage, definitely this one has more coverage than the other concealer. Maybe for those areas where you have a little more redness peeking through. That one does work under the eyes, but it is a little heavier, so it's not my preference for under the eyes. But anywhere you want to brighten up the face, like this is a little bit lighter shade, like a little bit here and a little bit here. If you have spots of hyperpigmentation that tend to peek through, you could add a little bit of that concealer and buff it in. Now I have the same thing in a darker shade. Let me show you my favorite contouring and bronzing hack. So this is the concealer, and it's in a darker shade. I will list the shade down below, and I'm just going to scribble some on the back of my hand. Now you can go right into it at that intensity, but I'm going to take this mineral veil, or the brightening veil, excuse me, and put a drop of that on there just to add a little more liquid to it. And then I'm going to take my foundation brush and we're going to just pounce that in, and we're going to go ahead and just apply that as a cream bronzer. Now I don't think Cle De Peau has a cream bronzer product, so this is my solution, and I do this with any brand that I have. If I like the concealer, I will get a dark color and use it for contouring. I will say I waited a super long time to get the BK Beauty brushes. They're a little bit pricier. They're not super high price, but I have so many brushes, and I just thought, how different can they be than any other brush that I have? But I really do like them, and I think she's been very thoughtful about the designs of her brushes. I've been using them constantly lately and really am glad that I have them. So if you're like me and you've been dragging your feet, I don't think you'll be disappointed. I really do like the BK Beauty brushes. All right, I'm going to go in with a little bit of this cream blush. I always start with my cream products first and move on to my powders. And this is another BK Beauty brush here. This came in a set. I'll list the set that I got down below. You can buy them individually, but it's more cost effective to get a set. And this color is pretty subtle, but it just gives a really natural flush to the cheeks. I am going to go over this with a powder, which is an extra step when you do your powders, but I like it. I like to finish my makeup with a little bit of powders, not a lot. But if you're a cream person with your makeup, you definitely don't have to add any powders at all. It gives you a beautiful glow to have a cream base with no powders. So the powder by Cle De Peau is absolutely gorgeous in terms of the packaging. It is so exquisite and thin. It's got a little puff with it, and I'm just going to go in and get a little bit here on my brush. Powder in some of those areas that I don't want to shine. And I don't use a lot of powder. I really try to make sure it's just enough to set things down. I don't want my face to look powdery or cakey. I will say, besides the foundation I used today, well, I like all the Cle De Peau foundations, unfortunately, because they're super expensive. This powder is really beautiful. And in fact, one time I saw it in my daughter Abby's makeup bag and I almost freaked out. I was like, you stole my Cle De Peau. Like, that's expensive. Don't take it. Don't take my makeup. If you have daughters that like to borrow your things, let me know. No, she didn't mean to take it. She actually was like, I just meant to borrow it. I was going to put it right back. Okay, here's the Cle De Peau powder bronzer. And it does have a brush that comes with it, which you can see I never use. But it's nice to have. So I'm just going to go in and reinforce my bronzer just a little bit. This step just helps it last. I enjoy doing the powder over top of the cream. I will say I really do love the Cle De Peau bronzer too. That's another one that stands out to me as a great product. And then here's the blush. I'm just using the same big powder brush that I used for the powder, the translucent powder. This is a gorgeous blush too. It has just enough shimmer to give you some sheen on the skin, but not so much that it looks like that artificial, shiny, glittery type blush. I was with a friend of mine not long ago and we were outside in direct natural sun. She must have used a highlighter or a blush that had actual glitter particles. And I don't think she meant for it to look that way in the natural light. You know, as we get older, we don't see as well either. And I like sat there wondering if I should tell her, or maybe she liked it. Maybe she's a beautiful woman, but I know her. So I was like, I don't think she meant to have the blush that has the actual like glitter on the skin. What would you have done? I ended up not saying anything because I didn't want to hurt her feelings if she really liked that, if that was the look she was going for. But I felt bad about it because I was like, I don't think she would want that. Okay, time to improve these eyebrows. So this is a powder eyebrow kit, which I love having these types of kits on hand because they are so easy to use. So if you feel like you're not good at doing brows, do a powder brow. I think they're just so much easier than doing pencils. So I'm going to use a brush. They do come with a brush and spoolie, so everything you need is in there, but I like a longer handled brush. And this is just an angled brush here. So a little hack with these brow powders is you can use them as your eyeliners as well. And they work so nicely for that because they are soft, they stay on well, and they're not as harsh as a eyeliner pencil. I'm using this mid-tone color first. I just think for those of you who are just intimidated by doing brows, doing a powder brow is the easiest thing to do. And it can be very soft and subtle. When I want to do my makeup super quickly, I will definitely do just a quick powder brow. Makeup is something I really enjoy. It's kind of an artistic escape for me. So I usually don't do it quickly. I usually take my time and it's like a little art therapy session for me. I'm going to go in with this darker color on the same angled brush and just make the tail of the brow just a little more defined. I usually like my brows to be lighter up front and a little darker as they go over. So around the arch, I make them a little darker and toward the end of the tail and leave them lighter towards the front or towards that part. Of course, that's personal preference. So I always say, do what makes you feel confident. Do what makes you feel beautiful. Makeup is an expression. There is no right or wrong way. I definitely encourage you to try something new with makeup once a week because we get stuck in our routines and then we never find new things we really love. I'm going to take this little brush that comes with it and go into this really light highlight color here. This is a matte, it doesn't have shimmer to it. And just go a little bit under the brow, here and here, and a little bit into the corner of the eye to brighten that. Now we're going to leave this out because I'm going to go back to that palette. But because I don't have a Cle De Peau eyeshadow palette, I'm just going to use my bronzer. And I love it when I have expensive products that I can multi-purpose. So I'm just going to use an eyeshadow brush. This is a BK Beauty brush from that set. And I'm just going to go above the natural crease and make this like super easy. Just give a little bit of a contour with my bronzer. This is the simplest way to do an eyeshadow look without eyeshadow, and if you're in a hurry, just use your bronzer, add a little bit of a contour and call it done. I'm going to use a BK Beauty pencil brush, go into my bronzer, and just add a little bit on the lower lash line. I'm going to go back to my eyebrow palette here and go into this dark color with an angled brush and go into the outer corner and just a little ways just to kind of give a little emphasis in the outer corner of the eye. And I'm going to use this on the upper lash line, creating some definition like a soft upper liner and a little upward wing. And if the wing gets to be a little heavy for you, you can take your eyeshadow brush and just soften it up. You could also use these as eyeshadows, like if you want to deepen up your this outer crease. I'm going to take some of both of these colors and a smaller brush, just dip in. So this can be versatile. It doesn't have to be just for your eyebrows. I'm just going to deepen up this outer V a little bit. Not a lot here because this is a daytime look, but you can give yourself a little more definition. So I'm just kind of stamping it in where I want it. And go back to my larger eyeshadow brush and just blend it in with little circles, just so it's not harsh. And we created this look with the eyes with no eyeshadow palette, just using bronzer and the eyebrow palette. Now I do have the Cle De Peau brow gel here. You can tell I've used it. It's got some hairs sticking out from it. I actually really love this product a lot. So this would be an extra step if you've done your powder brows and you just want to pick up those natural brow hairs a little bit to give them a little oomph. I think this step personally makes a big difference, so I like to use a brow gel, whether it's tinted or clear, either way, but I do tend to lean towards the tinted. Now, I don't have a mascara by Cle De Peau. I am wearing lashes. These are my lashes, the Gorgeously You Luxe lashes. I will link them down below. Something that you can do if you wear lashes is take a spoolie and get it wet, or have a little tiny dish of water or run it under your sink. And then once it's wet, you can just use it to take any eyelash or powder residue off of your lash extensions. I do this really gently, not to pull any lashes out. Right now I'm on like day 4. So as you progress in your lash extensions wear, they stay on really well, but I am more gentle with them as I get closer to the end of their life. For me, lashes stay on 5 to 7 days. I have the tiniest little nubs of actual lashes because of cancer. So if you have normal lashes, these lashes can stay on 7 to 14 days, depending on how you care for them. If you're really rough on them, they're probably only going to give you a week, but still, I'd rather do lashes that I can wear for 5 to 7 days than do strip lashes every single day. I have these in a shorter length. I have 8s and 10s on right now. Most days I will do a cat eye type or a lifted lash look by doing a 14, 14, 12, 10, and then maybe an 8. But if you get too close into the inside part of the eye, it can be pokey. But I usually like to elongate the eye. I do like a natural lash look for every day and if I'm not wearing makeup. So if I'm going to be going with subtle makeup or almost no makeup, I do a lash look that is very subtle, natural, shorter. All right, these are the lipsticks, you guys. Let me swatch them for you so you can see what I've got here. But I'm gonna go with something a little more neutral. So this one is the lipstick by Cle De Peau that I wear the most. This is Triumphant Tawny. And let me just swatch this for you because it's really such a pretty wearable color. I love the creaminess of this. It's hydrating on the lips and absolutely beautiful. I wouldn't say it's the most long wear, but on mature lips, it feels nourishing. And for me, I have extremely dry lips. That's really important. This is the packaging, which I think is exquisite. And I absolutely love the attention to detail. Now you are paying for a luxury product with Cle De Peau. High price tag, so the packaging should be exquisite. The formulas should be absolutely beautiful. I will say they did an incredible job with the lip formulas. If you don't want to pay the Cle De Peau price, the Charlotte Tilbury lip formulas are really beautiful too. I would steer away from a matte lip if you have dry lips, mature lips, but I do use matte lip products, but I tend to layer them on top of a cream product. Now here's another one that I've picked up that I do use a lot as well for a little more color. This one is called Power Mauve, and it's beautiful. I wear this one a fair bit as well. Now I do have one matte product, and I'll show you this over top of a cream product. This one is called Chocolate Cosmos, I believe. That is the color right there. Very wearable, very universally flattering. You can see that I have dry lips, and so I typically don't wear much lipstick or any mattes on my lips when they're dry. But if you have a cream product underneath, or you've used a lip oil to nourish the lips before a matte product, you can get away with it for a while. I just don't think it is the best look on really dry or cracked lips. Now, the last product I have by Cle De Peau is their highlighter, which, look at that packaging. It is beautiful. And here it is. It does come with a brush, which I never use. I'm going to use a BK Beauty brush here and just give an ever so slight bit of that highlight to the high points of my cheeks. I don't like too much, especially for a day look. But it is pretty. And on the tip of my nose, bridge of my nose. Sometimes I'll hit the high point of my lip, but since I have lipstick on today, I'm not going to. And let me show you a little swatch of this highlighter. So that's what it looks like. It's not overly beaming, but it definitely gives you a pretty glow. This one is called Golden Galaxy. So I'm just gonna take my sponge and just press everything in. Make sure we're blended. Sometimes when I film videos, I'm so focused on the camera and everything else that I miss some of the steps I would do if I was just doing makeup in front of a mirror, which is blending. Filming isn't always as easy as one would think. Let me just give you a quick rundowns of some favorites and fails and not so favorites. There's some that aren't fails, but I just don't think they're worth the price point. So I love all of the Cle De Peau foundations, including the one I use today. It offers a little extra SPF. This one is a splurge. I think it's like $270, which it about killed me to buy. The only reason I purchased it was curiosity, and I wanted to bring it to my channel for a review. Now I'm glad I have it. It is a spectacular foundation, but it is just so expensive. I don't know that I'll buy this again. I mean, I can't say I never would because it's gorgeous, but I just think there are other foundations that are beautiful that cost much less. These two are beautiful foundations. They're a fraction of the price. They're still around $100, but you're saving quite a bit of money. I love this one for every day. It gives a beautiful finish, skin-like. It's hydrating and it has that extra SPF. This one offers a little bit more coverage than this one. They're both gorgeous. Now, as much as I like this brightening enhancing veil, which offers a little extra SPF, there are other primers and SPF moisturizers that are so much less expensive that I think do just about the same thing. This one I don't think is worth the price point. I really do love this brow powder kit, especially for someone who maybe has unsteady hands or isn't feeling confident doing their brows with a brow pencil. This one is just so easy, and you have the versatility like I did today, using it for a liner and for a little bit of eyeshadow. Personally, I think the Cle De Peau bronzer is wonderful. It blends in beautifully, the formula is great, it stays on well, and of course you can use it for a little bit of eyeshadow. This blush formula is beautiful. I do get a lot of use out of it. I'm glad that I have it, but I do think there are other blush formulas that are less expensive that work just as well. Now, there's something about this powder formula that I really do love. I hate the price point, like all the Cle De Peau luxury products. You guys, as much as I think they are wonderful and luxurious and the packaging is spectacular, they are definitely priced high. So if you can afford it, it's not going to break your budget. Give them a try. All the products are beautiful, some more so than others. This powder formula is really something special in my opinion, and I do think I'll buy this one again. These concealers, which I have in both light and dark, really stay on well. They cover your flaws. They are beautiful, and I especially love using the darker formula with a little bit of lotion or a little bit of primer to use as a contour or bronzer. This is a hack that you can use with any product line, not just Cle De Peau, but definitely give it a try because it just makes things so customizable. For the price point, I don't think I'll purchase these again. They're wonderful, and if you can afford it, you won't be disappointed, but personally, there are other things that I would want to try and use. I do absolutely love their brow gel, and this is something that I will pay the high price for again. I love it. It's a great formula. I use this one often. The same thing with the Cle De Peau concealer. It's a lighter formula with some radiance. It's not so opaque and thick that it looks cakey under the eyes. I think it brightens up the aging eye beautifully, and I will definitely buy this one again. The cream blush by Cle De Peau is a really nice formula. It gives you a little hint of glow and a little bit of blush or flush on the cheeks. But I just think there are better products on the market. This is a pretty small size for what you pay, and I don't think I'll buy this one again. As far as the lip products, I probably wouldn't buy the matte lip product again. It's a gorgeous color. The packaging's really pretty. I'm glad I tried it, but I don't think I'll buy that one again. I absolutely love the Cle De Peau lipsticks, and especially in these two colors. Now, that's a personal preference, but let me just show you these colors again. I get a lot of wear out of them. I will list them down below. These are gorgeous colors. The formula is beautiful. They're definitely hydrating and nourishing on mature lips. Personally, when it comes to lip products, I'd rather have a few that I paid more for that I absolutely love than a whole bunch that I don't like so much. As far as the highlighter, I think this one is really beautiful, and of course the packaging is exquisite. I love the design, and I really do like that this isn't so beamingly bright. I think I would buy this one again. So So what do you guys think of this all Cle De Peau look? It's hard for me sometimes to justify the price tags on some of these luxury products, but I do want to try them to see if there is some kind of magic in the formula that makes them worth the higher price tag. In most cases, I think we can find other alternatives from the drugstore or even from Sephora that are still luxurious, that aren't quite as high price as Cle De Peau in some of these super luxurious high-end brands. I'm super grateful that I've been able to cultivate this collection over the last couple of years, and I cherish it. When I use it, I feel beautiful. I feel like it's an experience to put on this makeup. I think that's part of the reason these luxury brands are able to appeal to a wide audience, not just those who have the money to burn. I do think that when you have a beautiful, luxurious product, packaging is stunning, and you're putting it on, it just feels a certain way. This is part of the reason that some of these luxury brands are able to bring in people that don't necessarily have the money to spend, yet they spend it. We see these with luxury purses and luxury sunglasses, and sometimes people just love that feeling of having a luxury product that they feel a certain way when they use. Personally, I'm a little bit on the cheap end of things, so I really like to find dupes for these luxury brands and find ways to save money so that I can spend my money more on experiences like vacations than on luxury purses or luxury makeup. Because I do these reviews to share my opinions with you guys, I have invested the money, as a business expense, and I'm so grateful that I've had the opportunity to try this, but it's not really typically my personality to spend or invest that kind of money in things that aren't going to bring me long-term memories. And that is such a personal opinion, such a personal thing on how we spend our money and what makes us feel good. Thank you so much for watching today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Share with me if you've tried any Cle De Peau or what luxury products you really think are worth the money. Let me know in the comments. Be good to yourselves and to others, you guys. I will see you in my next video.